You gotta let the Vamos consume you. That's right, folks, as we are going to map 5. Map 5 in this series. And there is Leviathan as they get ready, as they prep for this bind, which I'll be honest with you, I don't think any of us know what we're going to see from either team on that one. We'll talk about that later. But Leviathan do the unthinkable, and they're on the verge of a reverse sweep against Cloud9, but it is not out of the woods quite yet. Of course, Golden, we're here with Valen as well as Mimi and Sean Gares. And Valen, I mean, I said it was either a blessing or a curse. I was just a line I was trying to be fancy with. I didn't realize that was the actual reality of the situation. And now Leviathan, they're on the verge.
It was a true blessing for Leviathan.
It really was.
I really think in the second half, they chose the right bomb site like 3-4 rounds in a row. They kept walking into A with like one person, or they went C for free, and it just kind of set up that meta game of like, okay, they know that we've been abusing A, let's do a C pop. Or, okay, we work C, let's go back into our A. And their metagame was just so good. They were picking the right sites. I think the game plan from them was perfect. And I want to talk about the ult rounds as well, because I think Leviathan definitely maximized their ult rounds more than Cloud9. I think Cloud9 kind of wasted their ults. I saw a lot of wasteful, it's hard to say wasteful, but not optimal Sova ults.
That's fair.
Non-optimal breach ults, and it just kind of rolls the half in the favor of Leviathan.
And so many of these big rounds were picked up by Leviathan.
Yeah.
I think it really started with this bonus round where Cloud9, we kept seeing them set up for these plays that normally they're so good at, being proactive in the early round, setting up the punish when you know you have ultimates on your opponent's side towards short, like this round in particular. But they were never making that commitment. They always had the trap, set up, but weren't committing to taking these fights. And that just meant that all of these important rounds were falling apart. Their economy was constantly on the back foot, and Leviathan on the other side, despite the good calling, was also managing their ult economy so well, always had something to close out these late rounds. And that leaves Cloud9 in another heartbreaking situation, which is a direct mirror of Split. It's the same thing 2 maps in a row where Cloud9 are up in the half, look like they're going to close it out, then Leviathan win a pistol and a bonus, and it all falls to pieces.
I can't believe it. Yeah, it's crazy because you go back and you watch that, the Leaf opening death on the bonus, and then the re-aggress towards short the following round where Mazzino punished. And the game that Shy just had was absurd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He just absolutely carried them through, and he's done it several times throughout LCQ so far. But like you guys were saying, the ult economy between the teams is night and day. Leviathan got so much value from their ults in that second half compared to what we saw at Cloud9. Even the round on the B retake where they dropped like 3 ults.
Yeah, and also, just a note here as well, with that win, it actually, or with that, I guess the kills that Shy was able to get, ties the record for most kills in a map here at the LCQ, which Valen, huge performance from him, but outside of the kills, it was just very clear the effectiveness of this team in shutting down these pushes. And as you had mentioned, right, just kind of like the flippant manner of which Cloud9 were utilizing their ultimate abilities really, really bit them in the butt in the end.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that Leviathan did perfectly, almost perfectly this game, is that they shut down all the re-aggression from Cloud9. I actually think Cloud9 played the map fine. They were double pushing short when they needed information. They would take gambles when needed. It's a 3 bomb site map, so you need to take some gambles. You need to be aggressive in certain situations, but they were always in the perfect positions to shut down those aggressive pushes and actually make that in their favor.
Yeah, well, now this sets up a really just wild situation here, and to, take off our analysis Andy hats for a minute and putting on our storyline Stanley hats instead. Our hats on. Okay, let's talk story here, because there's a lot going on right now. And Mimi, Cloud9, if you lose this here, that is devastating for this roster.
I mean, think of the heartbreak. Going back to America's playoffs, the regular season, a game away from making it. For Leaf, he's already had 3 matches where he's been 1 away from making it to an international event. He hasn't qualified to one since Champs 2021. Sure, there was lock-in, but everyone was there. Cloud9 has always been the team throughout Americas that we've expected to make it international. And despite having a 2-0 lead, despite being up in the first half of both Split
and looking dominant,
Haven, they are 1 map away from losing this one, and the momentum has slipped so far out of their hands.
So far, they're going into Bind, a map they were banned in the previous series. We've yet to see Leviathan play Bind either, but that is the problem. Cloud9 is a game plan team, and that's why they just probably got owned on Haven. And they honestly should have probably lost that Pearl game. That was very sketchy at some of the rounds that Leviathan threw. this is terrifying as a Cloud9.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Didn't MCE say in the interview that they were comfortable on all these maps? So obviously,
but there's a difference between what you say and what happens in the server. And that's been
realest thing you've ever said, maybe. We'll see. I genuinely have no idea what to expect out of this. I mean, Valen, you know, really, I think you can go in a variety of different directions.
Yeah, I think when both teams don't have footage on a map, especially for bind here, it just comes down to who is more prepped. Who is the one who practiced the map more? Who went through all the nuances and the struggle in practice to get their bind to a T? Cloud9 has been banning it. Leviathan haven't showed it. Wow, I'm excited to see. That's all I can say. I'm so excited.
Yeah, especially since I think right now Bind has the greatest comp diversity at the tier 1 level. We have teams playing Harbor Viper. We have teams playing the old Bind comps. We have teams playing Yoru comps. I mean, there's everything. And the thing is, even seeing this Raze locked in doesn't tell us what else to speak, because there's a chamber for Taco Leah, the agent that defined his career last year. He's back on it.
Here's the thing, guys. I really trust, when it comes down to like set plays, I trust Leviathan. You've seen it throughout LCQ. The first time they approach a map, they have all these really organized set plays. And it's on Cloud9 to defend against those set plays right now. I need to see it from Cloud9 and the Cypher. I love that pick out of, like, this is such a clash right now. And I think the Cypher is going to be such a nuisance for Leviathan to deal with.
Yeah, I want to add, for the Cypher, what that provides for Cloud9 is a lot of passive information on defense. It's very common for people to have Viper in their comp, or even if they don't have Viper, any sort of short presence. So when there's a lurk up short, your trip and your cam kind of protects you from that, so you can focus more on showers. It just allows you to play more packed as a team because you have the passive information. You know what's happening.
Okay, a little bit of Paper Rex-esque comp. So what this allows you is to have really cool pathing on your executes with the Brim and the Harbor. You can smoke off one side, throw some crazy walls to path backside with your Raze satcheling in. So many options with that Harbor, and a big ultimate to funnel orbs into. On top of that, you have this chamber who can replace that Viper's role, apply a lot of pressure on this short lurk, or be pressuring those extremities. Cloud9, they're a prep-heavy team, and I doubt they saw this one coming. It could be the reverse sweep for Leviathan.
This is it. Riot Games Arena, I'm gonna need you to make some noise as we get ready for map 5. One final map determines which team moves on to tomorrow's grand final for a revenge match against Crew. Here's Doug and Bala with the final map.
Leviathan find themselves flirting with history, something that many have aspired to do, but only one team has attained, and that's pulling off a reverse sweep in a best of 5. Bala, I mean, we're talking about unprecedented territory.
And I love that actually Mimi points out the fact that Leviathan is going with this Paper-esque play with the Harbor Brim, because that's the only team that's done it in the main VCT circuit, the reverse sweep. It's really on the cards. There even hasn't been many of these attempts. I mean, we've got like 5 attempts getting all the way down to 2 maps, which is just crazy. The fact that we're here at LCQ in a matchup that we've been waiting for, in a matchup that a lot of people might have put as the grand finals here, is crazy.
I think also when you think about the seasons that both of these teams have had, yeah, maybe a grand final, but also a stomp in favor of Cloud9. But holy smokes, are Leviathan an awakened beast? At least they've been in this tournament. Now we find freaking Taco on the chamber. There's so much history to that. Mimi alluded to it on the desk. An agent that defined his career, that made Taco what he is now.
Oh, look at this. Leviathan relying on some very standard stuff. Just replacing the Harbor, or the Viper with the Harbor here. Throwing up a lurk wall, and it lasts a lot longer than that Viper wall lurks.
It's interesting, too, the way they chose to do that, because they cascaded in front of it, leaving a pocket where somebody could have been, but they walked their way through it. Taco tried finding space, but Leaf's patience pays off.
Oh, what the heck is that?
That was bold. That was aggressive. It looked like he tried hitting him in the face with the paint shells. Shy on the swing gets cleaned up, a 1v1, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Rooney's going to be rotating from B, and he's going to be late to the party.
And he has no util with him, doesn't even have the cam, which could be a blessing and a curse.
Ooh.
So he won't have to give up his position.
Bold from Azino to try to fill in U-Haul there.
Yeah, but he has to worry about short too, because remember, Taco died very early. That trip is completely inactive.
9 bullets on the Classic.
All this time gave Rooney to get backside.
He's got a cascade and a high tide. A little bit of indecision as Rooney also has to meticulously check every single corner that's around. Rooney's gotten it to half. Is he going to pull off? Oh, he's going to keep it all the way, and the first right click missed, but the second did not.
Oh my goodness. And I'm not even sure if Rooney tucked a little bit farther deep.
Yeah, he may have had more time.
He might have had space to stick there. Eventually, Mazzino would have realized and gone deep for that. Either way, Leviathan with the pistol again. It was crucial for them to get that one in the second half of Haven. They got both on Haven as well.
Dude, Mazzino took a ton of damage there on that. He got down to 13 HP.
I didn't even realize Rooney got a shot up.
Yeah.
And we're going for 2 Bulldogs here. I mean, they've shifted up the buys so significantly.
Well, look at this Viper wall out from Cloud9 here. Oftentimes you'll see it a little bit further south in order to block the exit out of Hookah and to block Octagon, but it's much deeper towards site here.
Right there.
Well, keep a close eye on how they choose to continue to play those walls. Meanwhile, for Leviathan, you see the same harbor wall that we saw in the previous round.
The fact that you can't really cycle that High Tide and Cascade combination that acts the same way as that Viper Wall Orb combination makes their options limited. But you can tell they're really set up for anti-eco right now, sitting outside a bathroom, waiting for a pick, waiting for a peek, trying to get information, whether Cloud9's going to do anything. They stayed on the other side of the map for quite a while. Now they move forward.
Remember, they tried contacting up Showers in the previous round, and Taco got dropped. This time they're finding so much more space. The high flash, and that nade is going to dissuade just for a little bit. Leaf on the angle once more with the Marshall not connecting either. Shot, and Jake is much worse for wear. Just takes so much damage. Seems like this should be another clean Leviathan round unless Cloud9 can win one of those vintage thrifty rounds. It's eluded them so much on Haven. And it does not look like it's going to be the case here. Zel's is left to try to make the play, and he cannot. A flawless round from Leviathan.
I think Cloud9's got to be really, really unhappy about what side they're starting on here, because this is where it all fell apart on Haven as well. And I think they lost a lot of their firepower on that defense. In terms of these eco rounds, you're asking them right now to be put in the position to play a full best of 5. And they made a massive gamble at the beginning of the day by banning Fracture instead of Bind.
Yep.
You mentioned how Cloud9 has been really avoiding this since that EG series in playoffs. Leviathan's not been forced to this map, but they've not been avoiding it either. They've been floating it the entire time.
Oh, they got to be careful here. They tried setting up a trap, a crunch on back Showers, but they're going to be overwhelmed by what Leviathan are throwing up long. Look at how far back Cloud9 have to go.
Got pushed behind. Well, Trip catches him, but the spam forced him off before he could do anything with it.
There is another. That's
What
cleared.
is that, Trip?
Look at how far up Nazar is, too. Does he dare go? The flash is actually towards elbow. So there's nothing for him to entry in. He's just going to wait. Playing ahead of the cage. Very well done to pop in, but Leaf just plays it better. So nicely considered. King's transfer's clean. Now Mazzino with the orb to buy some cover and buy some space, well handled by Zeppa. Just 2 remaining for Leviathan. Make that one. Mazzino cannot hold it. Cloud9 are on the board.
And that orb, the Cove, actually made it really difficult for him to play around. It gives so much room for Cloud9 to duck in and out. If he was inside of it, it would have been a different story, but that's a good anti-bonus from Cloud9. Not something they were able to succeed on at Haven. And Leaf, twice now he wins the fight against Taco, who's going to consistently be looking to take battles and side of Showers there. And you have to be winning those early before Taco starts to consider opping on that attack side, before he gets his tour de force online. Because then he'll start getting the advantage in that situation. You're going to have to start considering just walling him off entirely. Or smoking him off.
King and Shy both 1 point away from having very important ults online on the attack side.
And look, they're posted to try to get another one. That's why they're using an entire ult to get bathroom control right now, so that they can get an orb over towards Shy like you called up.
There's the Seekers funneling out, and with that, Leviathan follow. Taco's getting the opener already. They've fully taken control of site. Zelsis, or excuse me, Rooney's still playing towards B, just now starting to rotate over.
Spike planted.
Oh, he's forward in front of it.
Oh, of course he is. But Mazzino's there to greet.
Jesus. You're thinking that he gets ahead of that cascade and all of a sudden he's in a good position. Mazzino doesn't care at all.
Oh, they found the judge.
And now all they need to do is look from a distance at this Vandal.
And you hear Nasr satcheling up towards heaven. Rooney understanding there's pressure from all sides.
Oh, and he just triggered the trap as well inside of Hookah. You're right, Nasr satchel up there. So easy to pinch in. And King did not need to spend his orbital strike because the kills came in so fast.
Yeah.
Taco getting the opener, and then another kill backside. That's before you even have Mazzino getting those two in the middle of all that. You know, use that sky ult though.
Yeah. We talked a lot about Taco, and for good reason in this series. We talked a ton about King in the previous series, and for good reason as well. Mazzino has quietly put together a very impressive 2 series back-to-back here.
And when you talk about, you know, the difficulty and the mental struggles that require, or that are almost given in a best-of-5 series like this.
Yeah.
He was a guy who was getting punished so many times on Split and on Haven. So yeah, that's huge. This feels early from MCE, but they also haven't really been getting off to slow starts that often. It was only what, Pearl?
Yeah,
it was like so long ago, but
I mean, I think it was long ago. CMC calm, communicating. Down 2 rounds early on Bind, but 1 map to decide it all. And as I was saying earlier, I mean, everyone in the crowd, everyone watching at home has been gifted with an amazing series here in the lower final.
it's rare. I'll say it again, it's super rare you get an opportunity to watch an attempt at a reverse sweep. It's even rarer that it happens.
Yeah.
We have a lot of best of 5s in the circuit. And the attempts have only come 6 times.
Deep flash getting some info for Zeppa. You see the buy for Cloud9 isn't great.
I'm looking for the adjustment here from Cloud9. They've swapped the Viper wall over towards the bathroom side. But Rooney was always playing on this B side. He just usually had a strange wall to help him out, kind of behind his trips, so that maybe he can get some kills off of the trips, but it's just not happened yet for them.
Pretty sure he was still walking backwards when he hit that shot.
And Taco's doing that without his TP. It was on cooldown because he pulled it back as he watched for other pushes. Now he's posted up into a great post-plant position.
Yep. With that TP that you're just mentioning. Came up online. You see Leaf close by with the shorty.
If I see them invested here,
I don't think
they're not going to, but it's not, you know, it's...
Yeah, it's not out of the realms of possible with Cloud9. You're right.
Cloud9 just go for it so often.
the second flawless round for Leviathan in, what, 5 rounds that we've played?
Try to stay serious here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, again, to bring it back to the veto discussion, they took a big risk by banning out Fracture early to try to get the map pool lopsided in their favor in the beginning of this. And I think that was a great strategy. But when it falls apart in the last moments, I mean, the conversation after map 4 must have been like, oh, this, I'm sorry for this veto. Like, this has gone, this is possibly the worst situation you could end up in. Because Cloud9, you look at it on paper, you think maybe they needed to go in and win it in 4.
That was the same tether setup that Taco had from the previous round, and the kills are so carefully considered across short.
This is a gun round, and they're going for a push through their own orb there.
Nasr investing the ult, and I don't think he's going to find anything here. You hear it shot off towards Lamps, the nade there too to make sure no one's ahead of it.
It's just a guarantee that nobody else is pushing up against it.
And Zelsa's tried finding time on the other side of the nade, but Nasr considered it too. Still a 3v2 in favor of Leviathan. This has gotten close. This is a 2v2 now. Cloud9 snatch it back.
I think Leviathan thought they won the round already when they got those first 2 kills.
Yeah, I agree completely.
But it's still the same situation that is unfolding throughout the entire series, where Leviathan getting those first kills and then losing 5v3s, 5v4s, 5v2s in some cases.
Taco well ahead of it. It was traded too after another kill went down short, and then Ozra with another, but Rooney and Zeppa with a massive close to the round.
Yeah, the fact that Rooney gets all the way out there in front of Truck catches King completely by surprise.
And so we see the first ult from Taco. We'll see if it gets challenged at all.
He's dueling down short again. I mean, he's been having such success with the Vandal.
Oh, Mazzino.
It's interesting that Mazzino's taking that position instead of Taco when he has his ult up. Instead, he walks all the way up with the Harbor Wall.
Oh, that's going to give everything away.
Yeah. And tough to work from here. They still got a minute left, so they can definitely continue to work the map, but this is the opportunity right now for Cloud9 to go for some extra space.
And they've taken some. They have full showers control.
Caution here.
Jake is posted up there.
At least got satchels. You can get away from this.
That's still not going to feel good. Yep. Oh, almost gets a second, but Zeppa's there to help.
And that's a situation where your Viper's on the other side of the map, not really knowing exactly what's going on. If he was closer, he might have been able to put that wall up in time for Leaf to get out. Instead, he's left alone again. Left. We saw it so many times on Haven. 25 seconds, though.
It's interesting. King has had this orbital strike for a little while.
Taco's actually potentially going to get a lurk through. If they can get this plant, stay alive.
They're going to flip the map, but it's too late. And they don't have showers control.
Yeah, Jake's still here. They're going to go knife out in this.
They never considered this. No way. And we talked about it at what, halfway through the round? Jake had taken showers control and just never gave it up. Another huge play from the youngster.
At the beginning of this series, he was incredibly good.
Yeah.
We were singing his praises for his lurks, singing his praises for his patience, able to contain lurks in most cases. And here he is again, maybe injecting some life by just holding firm.
One enemy remaining.
You mentioned King and his ult, how long he's had it. I mean, we're talking round 4 when they went for that Seeker execute. Now, is he really trying to feint that he's going through this when there's a pit up? That's a pretty crazy proposition. And question asked of Cloud9, are you going to actually respect this? And they will. Look at this. They're spending a dog to get through it. But losing Zelsis would be terrible. So they take the precautions.
I wonder if they use the orbital strike to challenge the pit.
Yeah, with somebody walking in the front of it, something like that could definitely do it, but without confirmation exactly where, it's so tough to make a call like that.
It's very difficult.
I like that Taco's been really playing by himself, but I love this wall against the chamber. It's doing such a good job at just denying the opportunity for picks like this.
Ooh. Getting away, but having to do so via the teleport.
Oh, they split the side on the other side. A very unconventional high side. A lot of space given to the backside. They could easily swing through this, though.
Oh, that Cosmic Divide. They're already ahead of it all. And you still have Mazzino, who's waiting in short. They can take a step back, but they can't step back too far! Jake with another massive round for Cloud9!
Last player standing.
Cloud9 looking to tie this up unless Mazzino can pull off a 1v, what, 4? The spam through as Zeppa's gotten it to half. He has to take a step back, and Zeppa's going to take it the entire way. We're tied up.
What a round from Jake.
I'm getting tired of saying that. He's had so many.
Thinking back to so many of the early maps, it's that injection that you really need. I love this. It's a very strange Astral Wall, by the way. You called out how they're already ahead of it. It's kind of threatening that there's going to be people playing in cubbies.
Yeah.
Or actually completely isolating the players who are on bench, forcing them to swing through against you. But Leviathan just doesn't even care about it. They don't even consider playing back there the entire time. And still, now we've got the Harbor Wall, we've got the Brim ult still. This is a combination could definitely do work.
Yeah, I really want to see it pop, and there it is. The orbital strike, but the problem is it delays the push. It delays the push, and Leaf is able to hold his ground. It gets traded, yes, But how much more can they find? Zeppa swinging ahead of it. He's found a ratty little corner and destroys Taco for it. Zeppa still looking to deal damage and cannot. But Cloud9 with the numbers. And Leviathan left with questions.
Well, Leviathan started strong on this map. To me, in these last couple of rounds, it feels like they've reverted to Scrim Leviathan, where they're just constantly going for same idea, not really trying to counter out, for example, this Viper wall that's being placed down. It's so unique. Just going across the middle of the site. Normally you're blocking hookah window, you're blocking the long walkout. It's so unique. And it's forcing Leviathan in situations that they're really uncomfortable with. You can tell.
30 seconds left.
It's caused fits. They hear the cam. The deep flash. Do they even manage to get the spike down? There's no one really covering. Wow, but there's no challenge from Cloud9. Wow. There was a threat. The cage. Maybe Rooney pushes into it, but never comes.
Ooh, King gets into the middle of it. If that pops,
yeah,
you're not going to hear the cue that he gets in. They were waiting for Zalsis, now regrouping back towards it. King, meanwhile, has completely cleared that elbow push.
They have to play ahead of the wall, too, because of where Zalsis is. He's still alive. He's got him, too. But Zalsis is there to save it. King looked cold for a second there, man. I thought he was going to do it.
I've seen clutches from that same position so many times. It's really tough to actually swing through that choke synchronized, so it's 1 by 1 so often. You don't have enough room to really layer yourselves on that triple swing. And here it is, first time out for Leviathan. Time to address some of the possible adjustments here.
After 4 rounds in a row from Cloud9.
Because while I feel like King's eye gelling on Haven was fantastic, I mean, like Valen said on the desk, just constantly finding the right site. I do feel like right now I'm seeing them revert to the same sort of tendencies where you get comfortable calling the same ideas, same strats. For example, this high tide that's emulating the Viper lurk down short.
Yeah.
It's every round here from Leviathan. And that might be part of the game plan. That might be why they picked this comp. But at the same time, you watch other teams, and maybe it's just impossible of a task to, emulate Paper X, but you want to see some of this explosiveness with this comp as well.
Yeah, and that really just hasn't been the case. The one time we saw a quick, fast pop, it felt like they shot themselves in the foot with the positioning of the orbital strike. The fact that the spike was lagging behind in hookah, it didn't have the same go. So they were only really able to push out of Octagon in that round. We'll see what the adjustments are. And really, through the whole conversation we had, we didn't even address the fact that this Viper wall is still pesky towards B, and they haven't really found out how to navigate through it. And Rooney, done that twice now. Rooney continues to set up his utility ahead of it.
That's the thing, right? You have to clear the site for util. You can't get caught by it, but at the same time, you want to be walking behind that wall. The problem is, they could drop it at any time. So once you walk behind it, you find yourself in a position where you're on a timer and you have no clue when it's going to happen. I want to see them take elbow control from that, though. I mean, they have the tools. Out of the timeout's the same call. High tide down short, try to threaten the lurk.
See if we can get, if Nazor can get that orb, that will have a showstopper on mine. He's got the nade and 2 satchels to work with. There's the orb. The thing is, they can't easily flip here. They don't have showers control.
Some of the time when you watch players be completely on this lurk roll, on this bathroom control solo, you see them start to gain confidence. Taco's not really fighting as aggressively as some of the other players that we've seen completely take over games like that.
Right there.
I think of, Alpha Year at Tokyo, just dominating down that lane. Here's the ult that you were talking about, way high, and he catches him while trying to escape.
I thought Leaf was gonna get away. Jake repositioning, he's feeling the pressure in from showers. Taco has to make a play, and he cannot.
Is it another vintage Jake round right now?
No, Mazzino stopping it dead in its tracks. Number still for the attacking side, though. A position to tie things up here, but Zalsis has gone unchecked. He's gone unconsidered. And the Cove is protecting him for now. Does he dare push ahead of the smoke?
Is there a flash yet from Zeppa? Looks like that's what they're waiting for cooldown to come back. It's way away.
Yeah, how patient are they going to be?
They can't wait for it.
They have to go ahead of it. Rooney's dropped from up in heaven. Mazzino gets a second, and now Zalsis has to make the play happen on his own. He's taking care of one, but he has so many more to consider. And he's calling the round. Leviathan have tied us at 5.
Right out of the timeout. The good call, though, to go for the orb play first.
And then the mechanics from Nasr to land the shot on to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
As
the
you mentioned.
patience.
Yeah, he was satcheling out of there. That's a difficult shot to hit on the fly.
And the height that he got in the first place. Yeah. I love the wide-shotted look at this. Flash over, showstopper out, leave. Here's his time. And when you get so high, it's like impossible to miss. That lands on top of the truck, by the way. What a shot.
And it also, you got to commend Leaf for having the quick reaction to even get that far away.
Yeah.
Remember, he had nade out when that ult started.
Well, also, I would like to continue to point out the fact that he's, again, left in these situations where he has to react so hard.
Yeah. A little Roomba on Roomba action. Destroying one another.
Don't show that to the AIs.
Showers has just been such tough treading for Leviathan. And look, it's got the potential to be that again. Nasr trying to swing ahead of it, the nade, but you haven't considered the other side. Oh, they know. Leaf is so dead.
It's again.
Yeah.
Same exact situation.
Meanwhile, Leviathan have taken a lot of control down B.
And Zeppa's trying to play ahead of this right now. They might have information. That's King and Taco playing super passive. Oh, look at this. Instantly as they walk away, it looks like Cloud9 got information as they walk down short behind them. There's going to be a huge pinch if they're fast enough.
And there's nothing to consider. Taco doesn't have a trip down.
If Zeppa gets one, that flank is going to come super fast. He doesn't get it, though.
They go off of this. They're stimmied. They're healed. They're flashing out. The site is theirs. But they have no idea where the flank is.
Look at the trick.
And King has the chicken.
Good awareness, man.
Confirming his suspicions and staying alive with it. They have the Reckoning in the Orbital Strike, too.
Only one spotted. And this trip doesn't really gain even more information.
Yeah.
Now they do know it's both on the flank.
That's why you saw Mazzino put that wall up and the smoke back towards spawn. But now understanding that everything is ahead of them, everything is before them. King still playing up in hookah. Jake trying to funnel out. They invest the Orbital Strike. Yeah, in an interesting moment, but it secures the round. It gets Leviathan the lead.
Yeah, it secures the round. It also gets them without losing more.
Yeah.
King can play very selfish there, and he can secure the round in any case. 100%. Not 100%, but like very guaranteed in that in any situation that comes through, just because he has that Orbital Strike. But the choice he makes here, it's a risk because it's used before anything happens.
Yeah.
It's a risk because you don't guarantee that there's value there.
Yep. Late in round in a 3v2.
You make it so that it's easy for you to play with your team there.
Sure. And they still keep Mazzino's Reckoning online. Different Viper wall.
Oh, the flash down long, time to swing.
Oh, huge out from Leaf. They were expecting that deep flash from long, and that's where you see the setup. Mazzino trying to get past it, though. He's ahead of it. He's got that Reckoning. They're going to exec onto this. There are 3 members of Cloud9 here.
What?
And they're all going to hold the line unless Mazzino can do something about it, and he does.
Still, the Cloud9 players, despite getting stunned up there by that Reckoning, able to make this a 2v2 somehow. So 2 players coming from spawn, still doable.
The pesky Cam lighting up Shy, and in the face of that, he gets a kill on his Elsis anyway, but Rooney with the Sheriff.
As his ult, he could pop it for info on where Mazzino is.
But he's patient. Mazzino wraps around and gets Leviathan to 7.
That's the half. So quick it feels like.
Switching sides.
We've been here for almost 5 hours, and this one goes by in a flash. And Leviathan's in the lead, but narrowly.
Unreal. Just 2 rounds. We're going to take a look at that one more time because that's a round that is so fitting of the entire series. For it to go down to a 1v1, for it to go to a situation where Rooney had his ult, where he could have guessed right, and it was a 50-50. Which way could he be? The setup from Cloud9 at the beginning, the opening from Leaf, and the counterpunch from Leviathan.
Remaining.
Unreal. But again, so fitting.
Yeah.
Just so poetic for it to be Mazzino one more time. let's hear from Leviathan's Noswar and why he thinks Cloud9 is such a difficult opponent to take down.
Yo siento que Cloud9 es un equipo que se adapta muy bien a las situaciones que tiene enfrente, y que son un equipo que decide muy rápido lo que quiere hacer, se encuentra en una situación y suelen tomar decisiones rápido como para resolverlas. Entonces a eso me refiero, que el estilo de juego de ellos se resuelve mucho en eso, en poder adaptarse a situaciones que se presentan en el momento muy rápido y en sincronización con el equipo.
For as much as Noswar understands the difficulty in what they're trying to achieve, the truth is they find themselves closer than Cloud9 do. Up 2 rounds going into the second half of map 5.
Just crazy. And I think what he was talking about there too, really important for Leviathan to learn as an overall lesson, not just against Cloud9, although Noswar gave so much props to Cloud9.
Rightfully so.
Being able to adapt is something that has completely missed for Leviathan over the entire season. I think it's grown in them in this LCQ after that first loss. Once they started playing like it was last chance, as Taco said. And because of that, I think you saw it a lot on Haven, you saw it a lot on Split as that reverse sweep started to get going.
And as we close out this halftime, I want to draw you all again back to how these two teams have gotten here. Remember, for Cloud9, expectations were in the bin at the beginning of the season. Who's Rooney? Who's Jake? Who are these youngsters, and how are they going to pull this off? And they take Americas by storm. Second only to Loud. They stumble in the playoffs, and they found themselves 2 rounds away from going to Tokyo. And they fall short. They have to sit back and watch as EG puts on an insane miracle run. And now they find themselves in LCQ in a position that everyone thought, oh, this is theirs for the taking. I mean, surely with how strong they were, and yeah, they fumbled in playoffs, but you know how good they are. And they find themselves with backs against the ropes against a team that struggled, I mean, for the majority of the split, if we're being honest. Unfortunately, a whimper from the Cloud9 faithful in the crowd, and that feels like that's, that's not quite right, is it? I don't know where that orb was intended to go, but it wasn't intended to go there.
Little trap play here set up. Taco's going to take first contact. If they do end up going down long, a flash will come through with a nade from Noswar, and they'll swing together, Noswar and Shy, while Taco gets out to safe harbor. And Trip covers Zuka as well. How does Cloud9 read this situation? Leaf has been so good at that exact task. Oh, missed flash there.
Yeah, that Leaf, that didn't make it up in hookah.
Either way, the information wouldn't have been there. They ducked away from it. And they're actually returning back towards A with that recalled smoke from Jake. That might be a cue. Flash through bathroom, gets no info though.
And it's a false sense of info too, because you see Jake is starting to fill behind that space. Also, the cam from Rooney confirms that there's nothing that's been pushed up through showers, so they know they have that space they can play through.
Love this from Mazino. Had an opportunity to use the high tide. He waits until his team starts rotating. The nade onto Jake is perfect.
He's not able to clean anything up behind it either.
And they're gonna flip. Shy is here.
And he's playing this safe. He knows. He knows that Cloud9 are coming for him. Oh, and his position's given away. That flash is great, but he's got a flash of his own off the swing. He's not able to find anything. Well handled by Zeppa.
12 seconds though. They're swinging. They're flooding.
Can they do it? Mazzino keeping him back. Mazzino with 3 and another round for Leviathan.
Both pistols in the book. Here for Leviathan, and my oh my, have everything switched. As we started the series, it was like, no pistols going Leviathan's way. The eco's not really working. All of a sudden, here they are, up big. As we start this second half and the final half.
Yeah, Jake had no shot in that position.
Was there a final flash there to confirm his position?
I believe so, yeah.
It must have. It must have come through. That's why that nade is so perfect. Insta-wall, Mazzino did that on the pistol as well.
That's so difficult to get through with unless there's a lot of go behind it, and that's just not the case. Well handled by King, the nade to provide some cover. That's really pretty out of Leviathan. Cloud9 will likely find themselves down 4 rounds on the other side of this. Although it is a Sheriff in the hands of Rooney and in the hands of Zeppa. So it's certainly not all done. But Leviathan in a position to have a huge lead here if they can close this out.
Are we watching a replay right now? What's going on?
It's like we've seen this before for sure. And if nothing else, they get some plant money.
Yes. And that's crucial. A lot of people did buy up Sheriffs. I mean, Leviathan strat maybe. Smoke's coming out. Zeppa, he's stuck in a real tough position.
I mean, the round is a real tough position for the ones that remain on Cloud9 to begin with.
I think a really good indicator of Cloud9's success is obviously winning ecos, right? I'm not saying that they should win every single one, but their performance on the ecos that they don't win as well. I think
I agree.
If somebody looked into that, you might end up finding an on-form Cloud9 is one that's really making these situations super close, and it's just not even that. It's a very
Enemy remaining.
That's 3.
passive attempt to go through that smoke. No flash, nothing like that. King is just standing on the angle. Nals were ready to nade too.
And that huge round from King, it started off with what, 3 kills he got and an orb, gave him his orbital strike in the 3rd round of the half. We talked about how he was a bit perhaps skittish on wanting to use it in the first half, but this early on defense is a different story. Leaf still getting the best of Taco though.
Yeah, it's been back and forth between the two in the first half.
Well, now they're having Telly to get out.
Yeah, and that leaves Shy alone.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Leaf managing to clean it up, not without taking a considerable amount of damage though, but you see the difference in the rifles in the hands of Cloud9.
Look at this pace. I mean, they just completely ripped apart that setup.
Yeah.
That Leviathan had on the pistol as well. Remember, it was the same thing. I mentioned how Taco's going to play his TP. He gets ripped before even getting into position. That pace is something Cloud9 can rely on to maybe get them some momentum back here. King and Nosworth need to try to do some damage here.
There's just really no way for them to get in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Looks like there's just
The die to the spike.
die to the spike, yeah. I mean, there are a couple people close. Zeppa, for example. Leaf
Don't
with
wanna
2
give him
kills
that.
could, yeah, you don't want to give him any ults, but at the same time, this is their first big buy here from Cloud9,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, and here's Sliggy talk about this all the time with Leviathan. It's like they never go for just a few kills, and they end up doing things like this. Obviously, they don't fully save, but it allows Cloud9 to start snowballing that bank just a little bit.
Exactly. Just a crack in the window. It's a small one. But we've seen how momentum-driven this series has been. I mean, you think through even individual maps and how streaks have really just kind of gotten us to this point. They've dictated the series. Also, what a massive round from Leaf.
Yes.
The face of the flash, diffing Taco, and then getting a second on site.
Yes. Given the struggles he has, and look at this.
In the last
Double
2
satchel coming in.
Wait, there's going to be presence on the other side.
A flash through as well. Leaf is way deep.
The nade to... Oh, well handled. Very well handled, and they're going to swing for a second.
There's a smoke there. The ults.
They're going to get out. Just barely. Jake with 45 HP manages to stay alive. And you can't imagine he's going to re-hit through here. But maybe that shot from Jake confirms it.
They just walked dry up short, by the way. No Viper wall at all.
They know. That's a spike, by the way. He's there by himself. But if there's enough pressure, if there's enough kills in space and Cloud9 can find on A through sight, there's room for Jake to work, but they both fall.
I mean, look how methodically they just took him down there. That's crazy. I mean, he's been stuck inside the portal by himself almost the entire round, and now so he comes back out.
He tucked in there when the Trailblazer came through to try to spot him,
Comes back out after the bombs have dropped and his entire team is gone. And we're talking a lot about Leaf. This is a guy who's been so close to these international tournaments. I mean, a big portion of the Cloud9 squad.
Wow.
Since Champions 2021 has been missing by 1 best-of-3 to these global tournaments over and over. And his form on the defense, you remember how often he was just getting pushed and put in these impossible situations. Now he has the opportunity to have that go button himself.
Really cool harbor wall setup here.
Oh, the
Tab,
orb is
cascade
long.
short, and then the long wall through B, and that allowed Taco to tuck in and get a kill.
I mean, it's a good idea with the orb. It's kind of nice. You can lurk through it, do exactly that, but Leaf by himself goes into the back of that. Why is there not 2 people walking there? So that's at least tradable.
That Cascade is going to be a little late, though, but the Reckoning will not. But there's so much disarray on the site. They still have Octagon control, and they've got to deal with Jake. Meanwhile, Zeppa's finding a massive opener. Taco cleaning him up. So many more in front of him, and he finds none. Drop the Seekers, too, along with the Neural Theft, and the Seekers trying to find King.
Yeah.
They're going to flip it. They're out.
And the Cypher's still up, so these trips are here. Nosworth does have a satchel, but he does trip the...
Yeah, he's tagged by one of them. King's going to be rotating through defender spawn. Nosworth ahead of it, looking to push the pace on his Elsis. The cam and the bullets from Zelsis were just too much. And now King stares down in a position to try to do something in a 1v3 where Zeppa's weak. But, I mean, the finances are okay. This, again, it reminds me of the conversation we were having earlier, an opportunity, a position for Leviathan to try to deal some financial damage. But not keen on, maybe the fear is giving Zelsis the ult again.
Yeah. And I mean, in moments like this, when you're 3 rounds away from going to the grand finals, any ult cycles from Cloud9 is something you want to avoid.
I do want to be careful, though, for Leviathan here, because I think there are 2 approaches that you can have on this. You can play not to lose, or you can play to win. Right, and for Leviathan, given that their DNA, their genetic makeup for the majority of the split has been one of hesitation, of rigidity, of perhaps, you know, more structure, it's easy to revert to, we've gotten this far, let's play to not lose. And that can be all the difference here.
Brings back that conversation you're having about the coaches and their conversation, how owners trying to bring that rallying cry.
Wait,
they're pushing this time.
Stimmy, the ult! And it's a misfire, but Shy with the trade!
And no punish either. Secrets are gonna allow him some space to breathe.
There's another.
A crazy play off of the barrier dropping.
Such a quick exchange of blows between the 2. It seemed like Cloud9 had firm control, but that counterpunch from Shy was filthy.
Think back to his performance on Haven, that 32 bomb. Just crazy. And Mazzino's joined him. They're walking.
Another contact play.
Both sides.
But Mazzino's gonna drop! And he gets away! I thought for sure he was gonna be punished!
No speed there from Zelsis Aruni.
Meanwhile, Taco's gonna be rotating through spawn. He has an op.
He's given himself actually so much room to drop out right as Shy comes through. There's a Molly at his feet, but the Cascade.
Oh, Rooney taking a little bit of damage. Mazzino's gonna push it. Mazzino's gonna push it! 3 for the controller and 10 for Leviathan! And now 11 off of the side of this defuse.
And you think back to that decision too. For King not to push a kill in that last round. Zelsis would have had his ult before. Maybe that situation went down. Instead, he gets it off of the spike tap, or the spike plant. And we're now 2 rounds away from Leviathan. Looking at the eco right now for Cloud9, it is not looking great.
And you're expecting a timeout here, surely, right? On the side of Cloud9, you call something. Do you just let it go?
Looks like it.
I guess he does.
Let's make some chaos.
This is crazy. Here's, again, the double satchel for Leaf. He has ult as well he can punish. But remember how hard this got absolutely slapped last time.
Yeah.
Left Jake alone in bathroom by the TP. And Taco's got his op online now. They spot it with the cam. A lot of util used right here for Leviathan. Cloud9's gotten in position to actually execute onto this A side.
What's the hit, though? Is it Leaf? Is it the showstopper? Anyway, you take a look at King. He's just gone exploring.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a 4-person stack here because of that. He can't get through those trips. He's got to wait for the Cypher to go down or just break him. Can't wait the entire round. But he's getting so much information.
That information's going to help, too. That nade is deep. Here's the ult. No satchels! No fire! Leviathan have held them back completely. I mean, they're on the precipice of doing the unthinkable. One round away. And Fade is a cruel, cruel mistress for Cloud9 to once again find themselves so close, yet so far. And you hear it from the crowd, uno más. That's all it takes for Leviathan. The reckoning for Mazino, who's 24 and 10, by the way.
The last couple of rounds from him have been fantastic. Leviathan are trying right now to make this LCQ a LATAM affair. When at Tokyo, it was the first time we didn't see a LATAM team. There's another one for Taco.
An eruption of cheers from the crowd as they're one step closer.
Here.
Second shot rattling off, not connecting, but Lee feeling pressure. They know where he is. He's spammed, he's done. Only 3 now. 2 Stingers and a Guardian. Nazar having to give the space back. That's another one. Rooney and Zelsis, all that are left. The spike in hand, they're all on site. There's the reckoning invested. Rooney falls. Zelsis does too. They've done it. They've freaking done it. It's a miracle in Santa Monica. And Leviathan take down Cloud9.
In a reverse sweep. Only the second time in the main VCT circuit. And we've got that LATAM v-LATAM final. The rivalry that we wanted to watch for so long in this Americas League. That's just unbelievable what they just pulled off.
Take a look at these plays one more time. Relive the magic. After the opening to this series, down 2-0. Leviathan claw their way back in. And it was not without heroics. I mean, you see Jake's 3K right there off of that interesting cosmic divide, the space he was able to take, but Leviathan, it just felt like they met every single punch with a counter of their own.
Yeah.
And once they had the lead, they were off to the races.
Bind was absolutely their playground. And this is what I was talking about the veto. It's interesting too, because we thought for sure there was moments in this series where there was must-win maps for Leviathan.
Yeah.
Pearl, for example, they're 8-0 on that map. They lose it and still come back in this one. On Split, on Haven, and then Bind to complete the second reverse sweep ever in the main VCT circuit. The third, including Game Changers.
I mean, you hear it. You can hear it from the crowd. A lot of love from the LATAM faithful, from the Leviathan faithful, here in the Riot Games Arena. All smiles.
This is just the most wild LCQ to have imagined. I don't think anybody could have imagined this situation.
No shot.
For LEV to be the LATAM team going through the lower bracket, for Crew to be in the grand finals, and I did feel like something was missing watching Crew go on into that grand finals without the coach on the screen right now. But it's on to different things here. Leviathan versus Crew for that final spot at Champions.
And again, to remember how rough of a year it was for Leviathan up until this point. So many questions about the coaching philosophy and how their star was struggling and it didn't feel like he was finding his footing. And then King is good, Mazino's good, but what about the rest? For it to come together in the last possible moment.
I mean, all that hate on the grind set and how they're not taking a break and stuff like that. It's great to see the team just fully embrace that, and it gives them the ability to do that, right? Other teams, you know, you don't get that stamina from what you get it from doing what Leviathan does.
Right, you don't survive
spending those days in, days out.
You don't survive a marathon best of 5 without grinding through positions just like that, without working through it in the month break that they took, and that month break paid off. Once again, Leviathan pull off the unthinkable. They make history happen against Cloud9, against the hometown heroes here on their own turf. The good news is you don't have to go anywhere. We have the Ryzen post-match interview, the Death breakdown, a break for us, who's desperately needed, and so much more right after this break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to VCT Americas and the Verizon post-match interview. We are keeping the hype in the arena as Leviathan get the reverse sweep over Cloud9. An all LATAM Grand Finals on the cards now coming up tomorrow. Let's just start with being 2 maps down, Naswer.
Yeah.
This is crazy. What was the focus like? What was the mental like for Leviathan to make the reverse comeback?
Creo que finalmente pudimos aprender lo que justamente era Last Chance, luego de perder contra Cruz y justamente el último mapa, por ejemplo, como fue ese hidden que digamos, nos estaban ganando por 9-3, terminamos dando cuenta que esa actitud que tenemos que ir manteniendo, independientemente del partido que tenemos enfrente, independientemente de los resultados que estamos teniendo individualmente, independientemente de lo que haya pasado, nos dio mucha fuerza saber que nada, era justamente la última chance y hay que dejarlo todo, que no podemos irnos así, que no nos podíamos dejar a la TAN sin simplemente tener un representante, y la verdad me pone muy contento que haya sido así.
It feels like finally we were able to learn throughout this last chance after the loss against Crew, and on that Haven map being able to push forward and to show what we're able and capable of doing even after losing a couple of maps or a couple of those rounds is pushing forward and being really happy that we have those LATAM finals.
Before the match, Laz, where you said Cloud9 is so quick at decision making and being able to adapt, what did you then take into the series so you could combat that, so you could be better than their quick decisions?
Yo creo que arrancaron muy bien contra nosotros dos en los partidos que jugamos, y es verdad que toman decisiones muy rápido, leen muy rápido el juego del rival, pero yo creo que al menos nosotros nos pusimos un pie adelante después de que exactamente estábamos con nosotros ya sintiendo el partido, nosotros ya estábamos adentro, y una vez que ya pudimos como resolver las situaciones que se presentaban, pudimos sacar la serie adelante.
It feels like we started really well, and it's true that on the other side, they make fast plays, they make fast reads as well. But as long as we got ourselves into the game, we were able to just prove a little bit more and to also have that read ourselves.
And looking at you as a player now, your initiators, but also your duelists.
Yeah.
How, does it feel good to be able to unlock a little bit of raise on these maps? It looks like a different Naswar.
Sí, es algo diferente. Yo creo que lo que sinceramente hago es hacer lo que necesite el equipo, lo que necesite en cuestión de comfort pick, si necesite que entre, si necesite que entre y me mate, lo voy a hacer independientemente de lo que sea para ganar. Entonces, más que nada eso, sea duelista, iniciador, también controlador o cualquier rol que sea. Sé que tengo al menos yo la experiencia y he practicado muchas veces en varios agentes y eso.
Yeah, it's a little bit different every time, but I'm happy to bring whatever the team needs, whether it's going to be me going in, me with the initiator, me going in and getting killed, whatever it is that the team needs, and he's being playing with different agents, playing and showing whatever is that initiator, that duelist, that controller, everything.
A few more questions for you. Just to looking back at your history, you're no stranger to the LCQ, bringing Furia to wins all the time, the two past. What is it going to take to make it a third time here with Leviathan? What is different about the LCQ?
Yo creo que sería un sueño si lo consiguiera hacer una vez más, pero independientemente de eso, quiero irme con la mejor cara con mi equipo, en lo mejor que pueda entregar para mí, lo mejor que pueda entregar la cara del equipo, y si mañana se da una victoria, genial. Y lamentablemente si no se da, por ejemplo, sé que Crew clasificará y somos dos equipos de Latinoamérica que va a asegurar al menos un spot para el Mundial.
It's a dream, and if we get it, it's going to be great. If we don't get it, we want to leave with the best face possible, showing the best face of this team, and it's going to be a win for LATAM regardless.
Well, I'm actually going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for taking the time, Naswar. Let's get another round of applause for Leviathan, giving us that LATAM Grand Finals. They take on Crew tomorrow. Vamos indeed. Let's vamos over to Golden Boy.
And I shall accept your vamos, my friend, as we have an awesome guest here joining us today, turning the competition upside over its head, just like Tactibear. It's Taco Leah here. Taco, congratulations, man. And that was absurd. you guys managed to do. How does it feel to just go up on that stage, know that you're in a really difficult situation, you're down 2-0, knowing the only way that you had to win this was reverse sweeping, and you managed to accomplish that one goal that you needed to do. How does that feel?
That's
a good answer.
Yeah, there's no words that I can say like how it feels. It's so good, so inspiring.
I feel it.
You feel powerful, you know.
Yeah, feel like you can take on the world.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling because it's like you're so close to lose everything. Like everything in the year is gonna be over, and 2 maps down, 9-3. You know, the only thing we start thinking is just round by round, forget the top of the screen, and let's go, guys, We can do this. We have to trust in us. This maybe is the last game as a team, so if we lose, let's lose with happy,
pride,
you know, pride, and this is how it works, and there's a lot of time in this work, you know, as a team.
Yeah. Well,
and
who stepped up in the comms for you guys in that moment? Or was it just the whole team?
Yeah, the whole team, because it's a problem that we detect on our team. Something happens, and yeah, we say like, come on, bro. We have to do it now. There's no other chance, you know? It's now, now, now. If you want to see something, no, it's now. So change your mind, change everything, we have to win. And that's how we start, like, round by round, getting confidence, and here we are.
Dude, it's just so incredible because you guys were down like 6-3 on split, and then you come back in that game. They win the first 4 rounds on split. And your resilience throughout this series in so many key moments, like this Haven game that you mentioned, that you were down 9-3 at half. And then it started to rally a comeback. And we were surprised back here because Onar took that timeout at 12-10.
Yeah.
What was he telling you guys in that timeout?
On split?
No, on
Haven, the 12-10 timeout, because we thought that it would have made more sense to call the timeout after round 11 if something had happened, but he called it after round 10.
Yeah.
But is it all just a blur at this point?
It has to all just
To be honest, I really don't remember.
Hey man,
Too many
That's what happens
games.
when you're so focused. You don't even remember the 10 minutes
Last
ago.
round, I remember last round. King say, I need a pause. I got an idea. And he said idea, and we say like, bro, what we will do on a screen. Not that. Okay, let's do what we do on a screen.
That's hilarious.
What were we doing?
Okay, that was the pause. Let's go.
Oh man, that is actually hilarious. But with you though in particular, the season has been up and down for you a lot.
Yeah.
So personally speaking, how do you feel like, or rather not even feel, what did you do to get yourself back to the form that we have seen you at before? Because we know that you're a fragger. We know your talent is there. So what did you do to get yourself back to that point?
Maybe I can share this.
Sure.
I talked to my psychologist.
Yeah.
And I said like, I don't know why my body, or like my mind wins me, you know? Sometimes I cannot like take full control of my mind, and if I try, like my body just show it, like like start getting nervous, or maybe I can't focus, like really
You let your
focus.
head kind of get the better of you, and then you get in your own head.
Yeah,
right?
and I don't know, I get like a snowball of bad matches and bad performance, and then the people talking, and I get like a mental breakdown there. But it's like something that I've been working on. I know I'm a good player, and my teammates know it too, and they trust me. That's why we are here now, and we win. And like nothing, just get on a game, and they give me the confidence to play like I play on scrims,
Yeah.
They support me like a lot. The whole staff of Leviathan do it too. So I was like, it's all mental, and I like a player, I earned a lot of experience this year because I'm thinking like, what's gonna be my limit? I have a limit. I still growing up, I still learning this, and yeah, I keep like going up and never lose my confidence,
Yeah,
So,
no, dude,
That's the realest answer, man. And I just want to like congratulate you on like all of the effort you put in and where you're at now, because your step up in the Sentinels game in this series was so pivotal. Like you have done so much in these like key high pressure moments now. I mean, your whole team has, and it's like a crazy story. Like honestly, that you're now meeting up crew in the grand finals.
Yeah, and I want to talk about your mental going into tomorrow's game, because you have another best of 5 ahead against Crew to make it into champions. But you guys are probably feeling good, right? And especially you as a player, like confidence has to be
hungry.
Yeah, of course. Hungry, confident because you won, feeling good. And I think, honestly, the lower bracket team going into the grand finals, you have that momentum, you have that wave going in. And I want to ask you, do you guys feel like, really strong and confident against Crew going into tomorrow?
Yeah, like for today, we feel it,
Yeah, for sure.
We are hungry. We want that rematch. We want to win, like, doing everything it costs, And we want to get on stage and play and scream and get hyped and give everything. It's do or die, everything or nothing. So,
love that.
Yeah.
That's the mentality to have, man. And you know what? Look, this is, I don't want to go too far into like advice and stuff like that. I've lived quite a bit, but I will just say, you accomplished something incredible today, and you have a lot to be proud of. So I think if you ever get into your mind that I'm doubting myself, I don't know what I could do, think back to this moment and this feeling, and you'll be perfectly fine. I'm very excited for you guys tomorrow, man. Much appreciated, dude. It's gonna be awesome. But let's go ahead though and talk about where we are going to go tomorrow because excuse me, it's El Clásico. That's right. It is Leviathan facing off against Crew. No one, and I say no one, thought that this would be the grand final of the Americas LCQ, but oh boy, I am so thrilled, so happy to see this happen, Sean, because I couldn't think of two more deserving teams to be in this position, especially after the seasons these boys have.
Absolutely, the step-ups too, and we have the best teams in LCQ. You know, Crew was the only team to beat you guys, and then Crew has made an undefeated run now to get here. I mean, this is literally the two best teams. There wasn't like some kind of fluke weird upset in the lower bracket. You guys have proved your worth here, taking out Cloud9, a team that lost only 4 maps in the regular season. You just handed them 3 in one day. Like, that is unreal.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what is the perception in the team of what happened the first time you guys played Crew? Do you guys feel like they got lucky? Do you feel like they're a whole new team, or do they have a good
Crew?
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Crew?
You feel like they're like a finger, like a hand. They all stick together, you know.
Yeah.
They play so nice around the teammates. So much firepower too, and good trades. They take risks. They go through the smokes. I think what we think is, wow, these guys are so confident, and they're playing so confident around as a team, you know, and that's why they play so good, so well, and they win all these teams.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Hey, man, Taco, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And you know what? Listen, they're playing with confidence. You play with confidence.
Yeah,
okay? Because that's what I want to see on that stage tomorrow. That's what we all want to see on that stage tomorrow, man. So best of luck to you, brother. Love that, love it. And that is basically going to wrap it for us here today. What a day this has been, but you honestly couldn't have asked for a better day of Valorant. Of course, Leviathan move on to the grand finals where they will take on Crew in El Clásico of Latin America. The best match you could possibly ask for. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for us. Here's your Prime Gaming post-day highlights. We'll see you soon.
Those
see you
socks
tomorrow.
are fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I'm using the same clothes tomorrow. So.
Don't change, don't change. This was a matchup that we all thought we were going to see in the grand finals of the LCQ, Cloud9 versus Leviathan, but instead they find themselves in the lower bracket final and fighting for that last spot in the grand finals, that last spot in Champions Los Angeles.
Shy is just so weak, but he doesn't have time to really think this one through. He's got to swing out and challenge, take the fight. Mazino did not help him. Zeppa gets them both.
There's only one player right now. The flash coming in from Zalsis.
Oh, so good! The timing of that flash was gorgeous! Zeppa from downtown secures the round and secures the map for Cloud9. I mean, just really over 20 seconds left before they even get to the point where they tap the spike and threaten it. Zeppa trying to cause problems from backside, but that's another round for Leviathan. In the wall, but they know, they're aware. Shy tried cleaning him up. Jake's got 3.
One enemy remaining.
He's got the pit. Whoa. Can he play around it? He's going in aggressive with the Seekers, and Jake gets 4. A commanding 2-0 lead for Cloud9 as they take Pearl. How patient will Leaf be? Yeah, there's attention. Leaf on the swing. Zalsis gets a kill.
He's sticking.
Shy's gonna get it to half. He's managed to get it that far, but Zalsis with 3. What a round from Cloud9. But Leviathan just overwhelmed what Jake had beat. Pretty out of the smoke, but Nazwar and Taco still get 2. Nazwar with 3. How? Shy looking for more. Leviathan have just destroyed Cloud9. Disaster avoided. We're going to map 4. That's going to allow them to get into B. Oh my gosh, Shy.
I've got to see that one.
What an opener. And he's going to get a 3rd. And at this point, give them all to him. No shot darts or anything like that, and the guns may seem to be working. They pull it off. There's a shot dart on the first. He's going to push it off. Leaf managed to get it halfway there. Zalsis on the swing cannot connect. Leaf with 1 HP, and the op in a situation like that cannot deliver. 1 map to decide it all. And Leviathan take us to map 5. They can take a step back, but they can't step back too far. Jake with another massive round for Cloud9. They're going to exact onto this. There are 3 members of Cloud9 here.
What?
And they're all going to hold the line unless Mazzino can do something about it, and he does. Mazzino wraps around and gets Leviathan to 7. Really taking a little bit of damage. Mazzino's going to push it. Mazzino's going to push it! They've done it! They've freaking done it! It's a miracle in Santa Monica as Leviathan take down Cloud9!
In a reverse sweep. Only the second time in the main VCT circuit